Ethan could hardly sleep that night. The quiet hum of the orbital station was soothing, yet his mind raced with thoughts of Lyra and the strange, exhilarating connection they shared. He replayed their interactions over and over, amazed at how someone could understand him so fully, even the thoughts he barely dared admit to himself. Yet, amid his excitement, a sense of unease lingered. Not everyone on the station was as accepting of Lyra's abilities, and he had a nagging suspicion that someone might try to exploit her gift. The next morning, Ethan found Lyra in the lab, examining a complex holographic map of Solaris 7's forests. She looked up and smiled at him, her eyes bright with curiosity and amusement. "Good morning, Ethan. I wondered if you would come," she said, her voice like a soft melody cutting through the station's mechanical noises. I had a lot on my mind," Ethan admitted. "Mostly about you." His cheeks warmed. "And everything that happened yesterday." Lyra tilted her head slightly. "Your thoughts are clear to me even when you do not speak. But hearing your words brings a different kind of understanding. Do not worry, I do not mind what you feel." He smiled nervously. The feeling of being understood, fully and unconditionally, was both thrilling and humbling. But before he could respond, the lab's comm panel beeped. Dr. Kellen's voice came through, smooth and professional. "Lyra, Ethan, I need a full report on today's experiments. And Ethan, make sure all protocols are followed exactly. No deviations." Ethan exchanged a glance with Lyra. She raised an eyebrow, an unspoken question passing between them. "We'll comply," she said, calm as ever. "But do not let him control your thoughts, Ethan." As the day unfolded, Ethan noticed subtle changes in Kellen's behavior. The man's eyes lingered a moment too long whenever Lyra interacted with Ethan. He watched from the corners of the lab, scribbling notes and occasionally whispering to his assistant. Something about his demeanor suggested he was planning more than just scientific observation. Ethan's instincts told him to be cautious, but he also felt a growing confidence. With Lyra by his side, he realized he was capable of thinking faster, reacting smarter, and even predicting moves he could not have before. That evening, Ethan and Lyra decided to explore a part of Solaris 7's forest from the station's observation deck. Using advanced scanning drones, they projected the dense canopy and winding rivers in real-time holograms. Ethan's mind wandered as he imagined walking among the alien trees, feeling the soft moss beneath his feet, and hearing the calls of creatures that had never seen humans before. Lyra noticed. "You imagine yourself there," she said softly, "as if you are part of the forest, not separate from it. Humans have a unique way of connecting with their surroundings. It is inspiring." Ethan's heart thudded in his chest. The way she understood even the subtlest of his thoughts without judgment made him feel bold and fearless. He leaned closer to her holographic display, speaking aloud this time. "I wish we could explore it for real, not just through screens and drones." Lyra's silver eyes seemed to shimmer. "Perhaps we will. But first, we must be careful." That warning lingered in the air. Ethan knew she meant Dr. Kellen. The man's envy and suspicion had been growing, and Ethan felt it more acutely now. He had to protect Lyra, not just because of what she could do, but because she had become a part of his world in ways he could not imagine losing. Over the next few days, Kellen's intentions became clear. He attempted to trap Lyra in a secure lab, claiming it was for safety and testing purposes. Ethan arrived just in time, sensing danger before it fully unfolded. He saw Kellen's hand on the containment console, ready to initiate a locking sequence. "Stop!" Ethan shouted, his voice echoing through the lab. His thoughts were racing, and Lyra seemed to read them instantly. She moved with incredible precision, subtly disrupting the console and buying Ethan just enough time to act. Together, their unspoken coordination was flawless, a combination of human unpredictability and alien perception. Kellen froze, realizing that his plan had failed. Ethan's quick thinking had outmaneuvered him, and Lyra's awareness of his intentions had ensured they stayed one step ahead. Kellen's anger was barely concealed, but for the first time Ethan saw a crack in the man's confident facade. After the incident, Ethan and Lyra retreated to the observation deck. Both were silent for a moment, absorbing the events and the adrenaline still thrumming in their veins. "You knew exactly what he would do," Ethan said finally, awe in his voice. Lyra smiled faintly. "I read more than his actions, Ethan. I read his fear, his assumptions. You humans are fascinating in how your minds can deceive and protect at the same time. But you are brave, clever. That is why I trust you." The word sent a warmth through Ethan he had never felt before. Trust was rare in his line of work, and even rarer from someone who could see everything inside him. And yet here it was, freely given by someone extraordinary. As the days passed, Ethan and Lyra's bond deepened. They worked side by side, repairing equipment, monitoring experiments, and even exploring the forests below via drone missions. But the real growth happened in quiet moments, when Ethan would let his mind wander freely, knowing Lyra could see and understand, and she would respond with insights, laughter, or encouragement that made him feel truly alive. One evening, as the station orbited the glowing forests below, Ethan found himself thinking not of machines or experiments, but of Lyra herself. He imagined her walking among the trees, sunlight reflecting off her silver eyes, her laughter mingling with the alien birds' calls. He thought of holding her hand, of sharing his world fully with her. Lyra spoke softly, as if reading his mind. "You imagine things that make you vulnerable. Yet you are not afraid. That is rare among humans. That is why I like you." Ethan's chest tightened. The truth of his feelings was there, laid bare in his thoughts, and she had acknowledged it without judgment, without hesitation. He realized then that what he had feared most, exposure, embarrassment, judgment, was gone. With Lyra, he could be himself, fully and unfiltered, and still be accepted, even loved. Their partnership was tested further when Kellen made one final attempt to exploit Lyra's abilities. He tried to manipulate the station's systems to trap them in the orbital lab, intending to study Lyra under controlled conditions, but Ethan had anticipated the move. Using a combination of his engineering skills and Lyra's awareness of his plans, they outmaneuvered Kellen once again, this time securing the station's systems and ensuring their own safety. The confrontation left Kellen defeated and humiliated, forced to retreat and abandon his schemes. Ethan felt a surge of pride, not only for his own ingenuity but for the undeniable truth that human creativity and courage, combined with trust and understanding, could overcome even the most calculating adversaries. Lyra's presence amplified his abilities just as his boldness complemented her perception. Together, they were unstoppable. In the aftermath, Ethan and Lyra stood on the observation deck watching the planet's forests stretch endlessly below. The sun was setting, casting golden hues across the canopy, and the station hummed softly around them. Ethan reached out, a tentative but deliberate motion, and Lyra met him halfway. Their hands brushed, a quiet acknowledgement of the connection that had grown between them. "You understand me," Ethan whispered, his voice filled with wonder. "And you understand me," Lyra replied, "more than anyone else ever could. That is why I trust you, Ethan. That is why I choose you." For the first time, Ethan felt complete. The fears, the doubts, the private, messy thoughts that had once been a source of anxiety now became a bridge, a connection to someone extraordinary who saw and appreciated him fully. It was a lesson in human uniqueness, in the power of emotional courage, and in the simple truth that sometimes the greatest strength lay not in hiding what you are, but in letting someone truly see you. The night stretched on, calm and quiet as the two of them remained side by side, watching the alien world below. Ethan's mind, once filled with hesitation and self-consciousness, now overflowed with hope, curiosity, and the boundless possibilities of the future. He knew that together, they could face any challenge, navigate any threat, and explore worlds beyond imagination. And as the station orbited silently above the glowing forests of Solaris 7, Ethan realized something profound. Being fully understood, without fear or judgment, was not only exhilarating, it was transformative. Lyra had seen the true depth of his humanity, his creativity, his humor, and even his most private thoughts, and she had embraced them all. It was more than connection. It was a celebration of what it meant to be human, to think freely, to feel deeply, and to share that with someone extraordinary. In that moment, Ethan knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he would face them with courage, ingenuity, and the knowledge that he was fully seen, fully valued, and fully alive. The story closed on the quiet orbit of the station, the lights of Solaris 7 shimmering below, and Ethan and Lyra standing together, ready to explore not only the vast unknown of the universe but the deeper, infinite potential of human connection and understanding. Their journey had only begun, but already it was extraordinary. The planet below shone with strange colors like an endless painting. Rivers glowed with soft light, and trees stretched tall, their leaves shimmering in blues and purples. Commander Elias Kane stood at the edge of the human research station, staring out at the alien horizon. The station was small, but it was sturdy, built to survive this planet's harsh weather and unpredictable energy storms. For Elias, it was both a home and a challenge, a place where every day could bring danger or discovery. He had been alone for weeks, monitoring environmental shifts and studying the alien flora. The humans who had accompanied him had returned to Earth long ago, leaving only automated systems and Elias's careful watch. He liked the solitude most of the time, but he never knew when something unexpected might arrive. That evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, a faint alarm blinked on the control panel. It wasn't loud, but it was persistent enough to catch Elias's attention. He frowned, tapping a few commands on the console. The sensors indicated a presence inside the station, but no human had entered. Before he could react further, a shimmer appeared in the doorway of his lab. Elias froze. The figure standing there moved with an elegance he had never seen before. It was humanoid in shape but clearly alien. Her skin had a subtle, soft glow, and her eyes reflected the twin suns outside in shifting colors. She looked directly at him and, without hesitation, removed the protective layers of her suit. The form beneath was luminous and fluid, adapting seamlessly to the light in the room. Elias's heart raced. He was trained for encounters with alien life, but nothing had prepared him for this. Yet there was no aggression in her movements. She walked to the center of the room, observing his equipment, her gaze curious. Finally, she moved toward him and took a seat on the edge of his workbench, her presence calm and unthreatening. "I am Zyra," she said, her voice soft but melodic. "I need your help." Elias blinked, still unsure how to respond. He took a cautious step forward. "Your presence here is unexpected. Why are you in my station?" Zyra tilted her head, studying him. "I came because your species has something mine does not. Humans think in ways that others cannot. You solve problems differently. You adapt. I need that." Elias's curiosity overrode his initial fear. He gestured for her to continue. "Explain." Her eyes reflected the glowing rivers outside as she spoke. "My planet is in danger. A natural collapse is coming. Our energy systems fail under conditions we cannot control. We require someone who can see solutions beyond logic alone, someone who can imagine, improvise, and act under pressure. I was sent to find you." Elias felt a mixture of pride and anxiety. Humans had always been praised for their ingenuity, but he had never imagined it would be tested on an alien world in such a direct way. He hesitated, thinking of the risks. "This isn't Earth. We don't know your world. Why me?" Zyra's glow shifted, brighter this time, almost as if emphasizing her sincerity. "Because you are human. You will see what we cannot. You will act when others hesitate." The words were both simple and powerful. Elias could feel a strange pull toward her request. He looked at the alien landscape outside and then at Zyra, sitting so naturally beside him, watching him with expectant eyes. I will help," he said finally. "But you must tell me everything I need to know." Zyra's form rippled with a subtle light, almost like a smile. "I will, but first you must understand the risks. My planet is unstable. The storms can tear apart your ship. The ground itself shifts unpredictably. You will need to trust your instincts and trust me." Elias nodded. His training kicked in and the fear began to fade. He had faced dangers before, but this felt different. This was a test not just of courage, but of creativity, the kind that humans had been celebrated for across the stars. Over the next hours, Zyra explained her homeworld situation in detail. Their cities floated above unstable terrain, powered by energy cores that could not withstand the environmental turbulence. Failure would mean total collapse. She showed him maps, schematics, and simulations that seemed incomprehensible at first. Yet, as he examined them, he began to see patterns and weaknesses that Zyra had overlooked. "Your species thinks differently," Zyra said, her voice filled with admiration. "You see solutions where we see none." Elias smiled faintly, a bit of pride swelling inside him. "It's what humans do. We adapt. We find ways to survive and succeed, even against impossible odds." Night fell outside, the twin moons casting silvery light across the alien landscape. The station's sensors picked up shifting energy readings from the planet below. Zyra stood and moved toward a viewing window, her glowing form reflecting in the glass. Elias joined her, watching the strange rivers pulse with light as the alien wind swept through the valley. "We must leave soon," Zira said, her tone urgent. "Time is short. If we wait, the collapse may begin before we can act." Elias felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. This mission was beyond anything he had ever faced. It was not just a matter of exploration or research, it was about survival, innovation, and the potential to prove humanity's worth on a galactic scale. He began preparations immediately. The station's starship was small but fast, capable of navigating the planet's hazards with careful piloting. Zira assisted, her alien knowledge complementing his human experience. Together, they calibrated the ship's systems, checking navigation, shielding, and energy converters. Every calculation mattered, and every decision could be the difference between success and disaster. As the hours passed, Elias and Zira began to communicate more naturally. Despite the differences in their species, there was a mutual respect growing. Elias admired Zira's intelligence and courage, while Zira appreciated the human ability to improvise under pressure. Finally, the preparations were complete. The starship rested ready on the landing pad, engines humming softly. Elias took a deep breath, glancing at Zira. She nodded, her form glowing with anticipation. "This is it," she said. "The journey begins." Elias felt a surge of determination. Humans had always faced challenges, from the earliest explorers on Earth to the farthest reaches of space. This was another test, a chance to show that even in a galaxy filled with advanced alien species, humans could shine. He stepped aboard the ship, taking the pilot's seat. Zira joined him, her presence calm but alert. The engines roared to life and the vessel lifted into the alien sky. Outside, the landscape blurred as the ship ascended, the glowing rivers and shifting forests falling away below. As they left the planet's atmosphere, Elias reflected on the journey ahead. He did not know what dangers awaited on Zira's world, but he knew one thing. Humans had a way of surviving and thriving where others might fail. And now, far from Earth in the depths of space, that ability would be tested like never before. Zira looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting the stars. "You are ready," she said. "I can feel it. Humanity's strength lies not in our technology but in our spirit. That is what will save us," Elias nodded, gripping the controls. The stars stretched before them like an endless road, full of challenges and possibilities. He felt the familiar mix of fear and excitement. They were entering unknown territory, but together, they might just succeed. The ship soared toward the distant planet, carrying both hope and responsibility. And as the lights of their homeworld faded behind them, Elias realized that this mission was more than survival. It was an opportunity to prove what humans could accomplish when courage, ingenuity, and determination were pushed to their limits. And so, with the stars ahead and danger looming, Elias Kane and Zira began the first steps of a journey that would test every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of human potential. The galaxy was vast, but humanity had never been afraid of the unknown. And in that truth lay their greatest strength.